I guarantee you we will provide you with a bill. Our fifth story in the countdown, 105 days later, still waiting for the Republicans' own proposal on health care reform. All they have managed to produce so far is manufactured outrage over a suggestion from Democratic Congressman Grayson that doing nothing other than attempt to defeat reform amounts to little more than a plan to kill people. The congressman had already torn the Republicans a new one, saying on the floor of the House last night that the Republicans really do have a plan, and it is the height of let-them-eat-cake-ism.
Very simply, it's a very simple plan. Here it is, the Republicans' health care plan for America. Don't get sick. That's right, don't get sick. If you have insurance, don't get sick. If you don't have insurance, don't get sick. If you're sick, don't get sick. Just don't get sick. That's what the Republicans have in mind for you, America. That's the Republicans' health care plan. But I think that the Republicans understand that that plan isn't always going to work. It's not a foolproof plan. So the Republicans have a backup plan in case you do get sick. If you get sick in America, this is what the Republicans want you to do. If you get sick, America, the Republican health care plan is this: die quickly.
Republicans calling for an apology from Congressman Grayson. Tom Price, Republican of Georgia, preparing a privilege resolution stating that Mr. Grayson's behavior, quote, was a breach of decorum and degraded the integrity and proceedings of the House, and that the House, quote, disapproves of the behavior of Mr. Grayson. The same language the Democrats used in their resolution criticizing Republican Joe Wilson for having shouted, "You lie," to the president during his joint address to Congress earlier this month. Beyond the childish false equivalency, Republicans now demanding from Mr. Grayson an apology to Congress, something Mr. Wilson has not yet done. So this afternoon, Congressman Grayson complied and ripped them another new one.
Immediately after that speech, several Republicans asked me to apologize. Well, I would like to apologize. I would like to apologize to the dead. And here's why. According to this study, health insurance and mortality in U.S. adults, which was published 2 weeks ago, 44,789 Americans die every year because they have no health insurance. Let's remember that we should care about people even after they're born. So I call upon the Democratic members of the House, I call upon the Republican members of the House, I call upon all of us to do our jobs for the sake of America, for the sake of those dying people and their families. I apologize to the dead and their families that we haven't voted sooner to end this Holocaust in America.
About Mr. Grayson's reference caring about people even after they were born, the members of the Senate Finance Committee today rejecting by a vote of 13-10 an amendment by Republican Hatch of Utah that would have restricted abortion coverage for any women getting their health insurance through co-ops or in exchange. Senator Stabenow of Michigan calling the amendment offensive. Senator Snowe of Maine, the only female Republican on the panel, voting with the Democrats to defeat the amendment. Yesterday, the committee twice having rejected amendments that would have created a public option. Senators Rockefeller and Schumer, who proposed those amendments, have vowed to keep trying as health care reform makes its way through Congress. Senator Rockefeller to join us presently. First, let's turn to the co-founder and editor-in-chief of the Huffington Post, Arianna Huffington. Arianna, good evening.
Good evening, Keith.
I think Congressman Grayson should not have used the word Holocaust because it has a different, distinct, and what should be a unique meaning. I think he should correct that as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'm applauding him. What do you think?
I agree with you on both counts. I think the word Holocaust should not have been used. He doesn't need any hyperbole. He has the facts on his side. He has truth on his side. He's an incredibly effective leader. He has the guts to speak the truth, and he should stick to the truth, and I agree with you. The word Holocaust is simply a distraction and should not have been used. But apart from that, you know, Grayson has been a real leader on so many fronts, both the healthcare front and the financial scandals. He's been demanding accountability towards the Fed. He's been demanding that corporate crooks are held accountable, and we should not allow anything to distract us from his true leadership in the Congress.
Is this the proverbial emperor's new clothes moment? Is it the first crack in the rhetorical dam which the Democrats have not been able to put through until this point?
Well, you know, there is something very powerful when he stands there and says the truth on two counts. First of all, that the Republicans have no health care plan, and secondly, that they have no empathy. That was really what he was saying, that they don't really care. In fact, they've made it very clear, and they're making it clear every day, that they would oppose anything. It's not about the specifics. It's about wanting to oppose the reform, wanting a political victory, wanting to undermine the president and the Democratic majority.
The alleged parallels to Joe Wilson. Grayson did not interrupt anybody, let alone a president. Mr. Wilson has not apologized to Congress, and they want an apology to Congress. Mr. Wilson was factually wrong in claiming that the president had been lying about coverage for illegal immigrants. How many other ways, or how many ways in total, is that analogy between Grayson and Wilson a false equivalency?
Well, it's a completely false equivalency. I mean, as you said, not only did Joe Wilson do something unprecedented, but he also lied himself in calling the president a liar. There is no comparison. This is just a red herring. And what is sad is that it is distracting us from this very real issue and this very real debate.
And yet you wonder, does the debate not about what Grayson said and the terms he used, but that issue, that sort of starkly defining what the Republicans have to offer in this, or in this case don't have to offer, is that not essential to the rest of this debate?
Well, what is essential is to stress the tremendous need that the American people have for some real fundamental health care reform. And the study that Congressman Grayson referred to is a study that just came out that makes it clear that there is a connection between the lack of health insurance and people dying. In fact, the study says that over 44,000 people die every year because of the lack of health care insurance. And that was really the very significant point that he was making.
122 more every day, and this was a day, so 122 more today. Arianna Huffington of the Huffington Post, as always. Thank you, Arianna.
Thank you, Keith.
The work to bar